Hey guys, it's Hard breaking down this two-game NBA slate for tonight. It's going to be a quick breakdown where I go over my early little core plays as well as doing a game-by-game breakdown for this two-game slate here on DraftKings. So make sure to hit that like button and subscribe, and let's get into this break. So recapping yesterday, just want to quickly say, follow me on Twitter at HeartDFS. And yeah, let's recap my day from yesterday. So we'll start off with 1 point combined. You want a halftime update? 0 of 10 for Tatum, 1 point. 0 of 10, 1 point for Tatum at halftime. Harden, 3 of 10, 6 points. As you can clearly see on the screen. Who was my third star spin up for my lineup last night? KD. First quarter, didn't take a shot till 4 minutes left in the first quarter. What did he finish? 0 4, 2 points for the first quarter for KD. They were down 20 at the end of the first quarter. What was KD's halftime? 2 of 11, 6 points. So halftime for all three of my superstars, they're combined, what was it? 6, 4, excuse me, 5 of 31. 5 of 31 for 13 points from my three superstars of KD, Harden, and Tatum. 5 of 31, 13 points combined. So yeah, that was recapping my night last night, guys. I was fuming. I was so furious. I turned off the 76ers game until the last 5 minutes. I could not watch that second half after what Tatum and Harden were doing. And then, of course, it was actually a decent game towards the end. Tatum actually hit a few shots finally to salvage his score. And then that Suns game, the first quarter, I watched that first quarter, and I did not watch the rest of the game. It obviously turned into a 30-point blowout, so it ruined everything. But yeah, it was probably the most frustrating night I've had in NBA DFS this season. Just, I mean, you can't make that up. I don't think there's anyone that has ever run worse than what I did last night with my three-star players. I don't think you can find someone in NBA DFS history that had three-star players that have combined for that poor of shooting halves. It makes no sense. But yeah, that was my tilt. I could have gone on like an hour tilt for this video, but I just thought it'd be a little bit easier to express my anger and frustration with just how silent I was with that tilt. But yeah, this is going to be a quick breakdown, guys. I know these games start here pretty fast, pretty early. I was just too mad to even make a video this morning, and I had some other stuff I had to take care of. So, starting off here with this Knicks and Miami game here. It is obviously it's in Miami, so it's a home game for the Heat, and it is. Let me look at the spread real fast for you guys here. It's going to be loading right now, and we got it at 6.5 point spread, favored to the Heat, 207.5 game total. So the game total has gone down for this game, and the spread has gone up a little bit. The Heat are actually favored by 6.5, which is it's really flip flopping the spreads and the totals just between home games for each team, which is kind of crazy. And then for this Golden State and Lakers game, it's a 3 point spread favored to the Lakers. They're obviously playing at home and a 220 game total there. So the game total for that game has actually gone down by a good amount of points, it's like 7, 8 points. So they're expecting these games to be slow, gross, hard paced, hard fought games. So keep that in mind. But here for the Knicks side, we have Brunson at the top, 9,000. I mean, he looks really, really good. He played the whole entire game last game, 48 minutes. So I'm assuming we expect anywhere from 44 to 48 minutes. So once again, I think Brunson looks fantastic. He's going to shoot the ball a lot. He gets to the free throw line. He's just great all around. So yeah, he looks like a great spin up play at 9,000 who should play the whole game. Randall, I mean, he's just more of your just contrarian option. 2 straight games where he's just been, just disappointing. Fouled out in that the previous game there, and then that last game, just didn't really do much in the second half, in that fourth quarter. So the first quarter, he did absolutely nothing. He was 1 of 7. Turned it on a little bit there at the end of the second quarter. He only had 3 minutes, so he made like 2 baskets. Really turned on in the third quarter, and then really didn't do much in the fourth quarter. So he had 3 quarters where he did absolutely nothing. But we know the ceiling there with Randall. He can go for a double double, go for 50 plus easily. So I like him as a contrarian player there in that range. RJ Barrett, more of a just a contrarian play overall. His minutes have been steady the past 2 games, but it's because he's been shooting the ball well. Like, if he misses his shots, he will get his minutes limited a little bit, maybe low 30s, maybe even high 20s, depending on how he's playing. So that's the risk there with him, but usually he's pretty, low owned, and he's actually been doing solid. So I don't mind him there in the mid-range, but he's definitely a risky play. Josh Hart, just definitely super risky, just only played 9 minutes, obviously in massive foul trouble once again. So if he stays out of foul trouble, I like him. He should be playing probably mid-20s, maybe into the 30s. If he stays out of foul trouble, 5,300. Quentin Grimes up to 5,100. I know he's been playing. He played the whole game last game, but if he gets in foul trouble, if he's not hitting shots, Josh Hart comes in and he actually does solid and he's rebounding the ball. They will go to Josh Hart over Quentin Grimes. So I think I prefer Hart over Grimes, even though Grimes starts and actually has been getting solid minutes. Mitchell Robinson, we know the upside with him. He played 26 minutes, won for 27 fantasy points. He can easily go for a double double and get a bunch of blocks. It just can he stay out of foul trouble? If he can, they will need him for rebounding, so they'll keep him out there. Quickly looking like he's doubtful, so once again they'll start Grimes. They'll move Josh Hart to the bench, and they'll bring him off the bench there. Um, Hartenstein 3,500. He's viable. He's been playing decent minutes. It's just he really hasn't been scoring much like he used to in the regular season. So I think it's more of just like an okay value play there, and that's really it. Moving on to the Miami side here, Jimmy. I really don't know what to do with Jimmy. I mean, he should be good to go. It's just one of those things where he hurt his ankle. Or is it that second game there at the end of the second game, I believe it was, or at the end of the first game, one of those two. He hurt his ankle. I think it was at the end of the first game, and then the second game he actually was fine, played well in the third game, and then that fourth game he did not play well. He was limping into the game. There was no news. There was no news on him. He was limping into the game though. I saw in the pregame where they're entering the arena, he was limping with a heavy limp. He went out there and he was extremely non-aggressive. As you can see, only shot the ball 12 times. He only shot it 10 times going into the fourth quarter, and he just was only all he's doing is playmaking. He was afraid to drive. He was afraid to shoot. He looked very, very scared because I think his ankle was absolutely killing him, and it really affected his offensive ability. I mean, still he went for 4 steals and 2 blocks, which really helped out the fantasy score. That's extra 12 points there. But if he didn't get those, yeah, it's just like he just turned into a playmaker. So I still like his upside. It's just risky though with his ankle. I'm not really sure what's going to happen there. Moving on to Bam there, 7-6. I mean, he's just a fine play there in the mid range. We know his double double upside. It's just you really need him to hit that double double. Otherwise, he's just an okay play. Moving on to Kyle Lowry. I like Lowry once again. He should be playing close to 30 minutes. He will be productive. He'll be aggressive when he's out there. Struce, the same thing. He's actually been playing solid recently. So if you want to land him, I don't mind it. It's just one of those things. Like if he doesn't hit his shots, he won't get extended. He only went for 19 last game. He is pretty score independent. So at 4,900, I'd rather get to like a Grimes. I'd rather get to like a Josh Hart, like a Gabe Vincent, like a Lowry. So that's my thoughts there. Struce is kind of the odd man out for me. Vincent, he was actually going to have a solid game there, kind of massive foul trouble once again. So he did not see any minutes until the last 3 minutes. So I think he's a solid play. He came out super low on 7% last slate. So I still think he's a very solid play. Kevin Love, I think he's a solid play. He's on pace to have a really solid game. Did not hit a three. Went 2 of 10, over 7 from three. So he could have had a really solid game, like mid 20s. I think that's kind of the cap you can expect from him. Like if he's hitting the shots, maybe he goes for like 12, 15 points, a couple rebounds, a couple assists, maybe a block or steal, gets you like maybe 30 fantasy points at max. But he will be limited to around 25 minutes at most. So that's kind of the cap there is just like, yeah, he's just a decent, risky play there, but his minutes are limited, so he is definitely risky. So I still like him. Caleb Martin, I think he's a solid play as well there. Should play, mid to high 20s, decently productive, so he looks decent. And that's it for the Heat side. On to the last game here. For Golden State, we have Steph Curry, obviously a winner go home game. Still really like Steph there. Played about 40 minutes. Obviously, the game blew out, so they lost some minutes there. 12 of 24, did not shoot the ball well from three the past 2 games. I mean, one of these games, he's going to have a great shooting night from three. So I love Steph once again. Still going to continue to jam him into my lineup just because we know the upside with him. Klay Thompson, I think he'll be low owned. He's been very score independent, hasn't been hitting his shots, but we know the upside with him if he is hitting his shots. So he can easily go for 40 plus here, even with just being score independent. So I still really like him. I really like Draymond. We know the upside of Draymond if he can stay out of foul trouble. Obviously, you can't expect him to go for 44 strictly because of the points, like him scoring 20 points. I think that might be the most points he scored all season. Yeah, so like he was scoring the ball easily, but obviously can't really expect that as an outlier. But I think he still has very solid upside. Wiggins is questionable. He had a huge game finally. Played it 36 minutes. Probably would have played close to 40 if it was a close game. But yeah, he was super productive. 1 for 25. The issue is his ribs. He's questionable with a rib injury. So if he's out, it'll be interesting to see who they start, whether it's Poole or whether it's like a DiVincenzo. Whoever starts in place for Wiggins, if he is out, looks solid, and then the guys off the bench would look pretty decent as well as like some pivot plays. But it also probably just add on more minutes to these starters, like a Draymond, like a Clay, like a Steph. They'll just kind of spread out the minutes. Looney might start, so let's wait and see. But yeah, if he plays, I do like him, even though it's a little bit risky, depending on how the pain tolerance is with him. But he has upside if he does play 40 minutes. Come on, Looney. It looks solid. 20 minutes, so his minutes finally went up. I do think they'll play him around 20 minutes, maybe even more. Maybe he even starts if there is no Wiggins. So let's wait and see for that. Jordan Poole, obviously, if there's no Wiggins, he'd maybe start. He'd look good. If he comes off the bench, I think he still looks solid. Gary Payton, maybe they start him. I mean, he's been decent recently. He looks like an okay value play. Same thing with DiVincenzo. Like if he starts, I think I'd rather get to him over Gary Payton. But they're all definitely in play there. And that's really it for the Golden State side. And then to the Lakers side here. For the Lakers, AD, LeBron both look great. I like getting to AD, coming off of a game where got hit in the head, had that weird thing where he got wheelchaired off of the floor last game. A lot of people were making fun of him, all that stuff. So I do expect him to come out here and be super, super aggressive for tonight's game. I think LeBron looks great as well. I mean, he's just been super, super consistent, right? Like he really doesn't flash the ceiling, but he's definitely been super consistent. So I don't mind getting to him. In the mid range, D'Lo, Reeves are both there. I still prefer getting to Reeves. He's had kind of the better past 2 games. And he looks super solid. Like he should see the minutes. He's going to be productive if he hits a shot. So I do like him once again there. For the Lakers side, Russell has a similar upside, but he's a lot more boomer bust. Schroeder, he's actually been playing super well this series. Had another solid game off the bench. Minutes have been great. I think they're still risky in terms of minutes, but he looks decent as a value play. I prefer him over Gary Payton. Um, Lonnie, played 28 minutes, but just didn't do too much. So it looks like he's going to get the minutes. I still think it's a solid play. Just really hope he hits his shots and plays super aggressive. Hashimura played 21 minutes, just not really aggressive. Vanderbilt, he is only playing 11 minutes, so his minutes have really ticked down, and that's it for the breakdown. So 2 core plays are going to be Anthony Davis, Steph Curry, and I'll throw in 2 more here. We'll get to I like Reeves there at his price tag, and then we'll get to one more. We'll go to I like Kyle Lowry. So these are going to be the 4 core plays for me. Austin Reeves, Kyle Lowry, Anthony Davis, Steph Curry. So I hope you guys like the video. Hit the like button, subscribe, check out my YouTube or my other YouTube videos, and I'll see you guys next video. Peace.